Well, I told Amy I wouldn't do it, and I did it. I went to the sale, and quite frankly, I went to the sale, and quite frankly, I didn't really want to buy anything, and nothing had really caught my eye. I had a friend of mine that came down with me, and he was looking to buy, so we had gone together and looked at a number of horses last night when we got here, and then again this morning. But again, nothing really caught my eye. And I happened to be sitting there, and I just happened to see this horse go by, and quite frankly, I thought he was a 3-year-old, a little smaller, not a big horse. And I looked him up, and wouldn't you believe, this was a full brother to Alarm Protector and a half brother to Horn Player, a 4-year-old, and he had never raced. And I knew the person that was selling him was right there, Logan Powell. I asked him, I said, what's the scoop? He goes, honestly, trot's great the wrong way. I go to train him the right way. I've been in 20, but he just kind of rolls off, and he just looks green and lost. I said, does he now? Sounds a lot like his sister when we broke and trained her. Now, obviously, this horse is 4 now. Missed his 2-year-old, 3-year-old season. So I look him up. I look a little closer. He was a $100,000 yearling. Not a lot of horse to buy for $100,000, to be honest, but a $100,000 yearling, which means nothing now. 0, less than 0 now. And for the poor buggers that bought him for 100, means a lot less than 0 now. So I'm looking at the horse, and there's no glaring issues. I'll tell you exactly, he looks exactly like Horn Player, but like Mini-Me. She's a big girl. If this was a 2-year-old, let's say, decent sized 2-year-old, but he's a smaller size 4-year-old. But none of that matters. He went for nothing. He went for $4,500, so I bought him. Bit of a project. I mean, as my wife says, I'm an idiot because I have enough work to do. We don't need projects. We don't need fixer-uppers. We don't need things that are going to take up space and memory in my mind. So, but I am a horseman at heart, and when I see something intriguing like that, I do gravitate towards it all the time. I do, which makes me very unsafe in a sale. And I really not looking at the catalog very closely, and not doing any homework on any of the horses, and not having any interest in buying anything. I really thought I was safe. I really thought I was safe. But when this horse popped up, and to be fair, I noticed him before I knew who he was. And when he popped up, I thought, wow, what does a 4-year-old brother to Alarm Detector? At first, I thought it was a filly. I said, this thing will sell for a fortune. And I said, I wonder what a 4-year-old brother to Alarm Detector brings. And I watched him go through the ring, and no one was bidding on him. I get it. He's for the Amish people, maybe a little small. For Logan, who had just bought him, he told me he bought him for $7,000 2 months ago. For him, he couldn't get him to trot right, which only made me more interested in the horse, by the way. So I said, immediately, the business side of my head, that voice went off and said, if you can get a flat line on him at Northfield or Mohawk or anywhere, he's worth $15,000 all day long. A maiden, trotter, qualified, full brother to Alarm Detector, he brings $15,000 all day long. That's residual. 2, I don't imagine if I wanted to sell this horse to anyone, I couldn't for more than what I just paid for him. I know I could. So it's really hard to lose on him at face value. The upside is questionable. I think the biggest upside, I guess, from right away would be what he was worth when he qualified. If we qualify him and he looks nice. Now, he's probably, I'm guessing, 3-4 weeks away from qualifying minimum. But if he looks good when he's qualified, hey, we got a nice maiden trotter. That's 4. He doesn't look great, he just qualifies okay, put him on an on-gate. Should make money, I think, which I would never say. I never say those words. Anyway, the upside to downside was lopsided. I thought there was very minimal risk involved in Laugh Now. I think that's his name. Laugh Now. He's a half brother to a sister I hold in extremely high regard in horn player, and he's a full brother to a sire in Ontario and a champion in his own right. And then, you only have to look again. We've talked about this with our filly. Just look at the second dam, and you get, Ken Workington, Holiday Route, blah blah blah. So, I guess from my standpoint, it's almost a no lose. Sounds so silly saying it, but to me it was. So I bought the horse. The other voice in my head said, "Your wife is absolutely going to kill you." Immediately went off. Said, "Why did you do that? Don't listen to the other voice. Your wife's going to kill you." It's too late. I already did it. It's done. So our horses sell for 10 for Hill of Magic, which I thought was fair or above fair for a filly that I was quite upfront with everybody that purchased our horse estate. We sold two. We sold Prairie Fire and Hill of Magic. She broke her foot last year. I can't do anything about that. It's done. Broke her foot last year. It's healed. Not 100%, but it's healed. Rehabbing. She's walking sound on it. She was on the trot last night, coming in the barn to be sold. She looked good. I just wasn't going to risk a re-injury, and I don't know that all the coffin. And here's the thing. Here was the easiest part for me. All the coffin bone injuries we had, they healed 100%. This filly's wasn't quite there yet. So I just didn't want to risk it. So we sold her. I think that was a fair price from both sides. We didn't get overpaid, but we didn't get underpaid. They didn't overpay, they didn't underpay. So I think it was fair. Prairie Fire, listen, I was up front with everybody. He broke down. Nice horse. You give him time, you'll probably be rewarded. That's exactly how I framed it, because that's exactly how I feel. And that's exactly what took place. Somebody bought him for $7,500 or something. The project. Somebody doesn't mind rehabbing a horse and treating him with care, bringing him along. I think he's a good project. And that's where he's at. So we sold the two horses. I really had no more interest. I was looking at horses because I was interested in what Jared was looking at. We had looked at a filly the night before by Yankee Glide. My Mini Miracle. Just a beautiful filly. I looked at her. And here's the thing. I'm not going to buy horses to buy horses. I'm not going to overpay, and I'm not just going to buy to buy. There has to be a reason. Market 56 in Kentucky, so that could be anything. Kentucky is almost a downhill track some days. So you almost have to throw those lines out. But it's there. She's a winner in 56. Trotted in 56 or 57. 57, I think, at Dover. And was doing okay. Checked her lines. They were okay. I checked her videos. Decent looking mare. Yankee Glide. Not enough breeding to attract the breeding crowd. Now I'm starting to think. Big, good looking, beautiful filly. Doesn't have the breeding to attract the breeders. Has 49,000 made. Now remember, the classes at Dover and a lot of the tracks in the States are not like Mohawk. Mohawk is non-winners of so much money plus wins and/or wins, and then there's allowance. This filly fits the non-winners of 3. We don't have anybody in the non-winners of 3 right now at Mohawk. And looking at her lines and looking at what's going on in the non-winners of 3 at Mohawk, I think she fits. So I'm trying to do the quick math in my head. What's a deal? What's the value on this filly? What does she bring that makes me want to buy her? I'm thinking 18 to 22. And the reason being, I think there's a sneaky suspicion. I have a sneaky suspicion we're going to lose Swan's Honey tonight or very soon. And when that happens, it's not like we have to have a horse for the condition claimer, but it's always a great exit strategy. Those classes, particularly in London and Flamborough, are great for people like us. Because if I'm wrong, and my Mini Miracle isn't a non-winners of 3 horse at Mohawk, she is a condition claimer at Flamborough. I think on her lines, on her videos, from what I see looking at her in person, as much as I love Swan's Honey, I think this is a better looking mare. This mare's 4, Swan's Honey's 8. I see more upside with my Mini Miracle than I do Swan's Honey, and keep in mind, it's non-winners of 100,000 in that class with Swan's Honey. Swan's Honey's coming up on 91, 92. This filly's got 49. So lots of upside there from my standpoint. Now, even the pessimistic voice in my head, even the voice threatening harm from my wife in my head, even the voice begging me, don't buy another horse, in my head, are drowned out by the voice saying, you do what you want. Here's a nice mare, fits a number of classes in Ontario, has speed, is ready to go right now. You get her for 18 to 22 and you don't buy her, that's up to you, but that's what she's worth for us. There's where I see value. 4-year-old mare has 50% allowance in, 50% allowance in Ontario. 50, yes. So actually I'm wrong. Just a little more. 20 Americans a little more than claiming price. But I don't have my eyes fixed on condition claimers at Flamborough and London. I'm looking at Mohawk. Non-winners of 3. So we bought her. I was happy. She went for $20,000 right on. I thought I had her for 18. Myself and another gentleman both bid 18 at the same time. First, I thought they were trying to scam me, and take a $20,000 bid when I bid 18. And the gentleman with me, Brent, was with me, sitting there. He goes, "No, the gentleman over there had an $18,000 bid." So I had the option to pass because I said, "No, I bid 18," and I did. If you were watching the live stream, you saw them stop and walk over and ask. They were asking me, and I said, "Yeah, okay, I'll take the $20,000 bid." But that was as far as I was going. 22 was max, and I don't want to pay max. I didn't even want to buy a horse today, so 20 was okay. So my mini miracle, again, 2 horses with what I would consider the colt. Again, he's a project horse. For those of you out there thinking he's going to go to Mohawk, he probably isn't. Who knows what he's going to do? He may not make the races and we'll have to resell him. I don't know. But I just thought there was a narrow chance of loss on Laugh Now. And then the mare in question, My Mini Miracle. I liked the fillies. I was a little surprised that Jared didn't want her. And I asked him after, and he said he was looking at a horse that was 3 hips later. And this happens all the time. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. Is that you're fixed on one horse or a grouping of horses that are a little later, and you really have to ask yourself, is it worth me bidding on this horse now? Because if he buys My Mini Miracle for 20 and the horse he really wanted goes for 17, now you flip out. Now you're angry. And I think he really thought he could buy the other filly. I think she ended up going for 27 or 28. He didn't get either of them. So we ended up with My Mini Miracle. I liked the filly. I had told him that. And when it was clear to me that he was not going to bid on her, I did. And I just explained why. So although we sold 2 horses that were either had been or broke down and moved them along to smaller operations, as I said, it gave us an opportunity to really focus on what we're trying to do. We don't have a horse for the non-winners of 3 at Mohawk right now. Patrick has won his way out of there and he's long gone. He's on his way to Yonkers right now. But my Mini Miracle on paper fits. I believe she fits, and if I'm wrong, we have a safety net in the class that Swan's Honey's about to exit also. So I thought two very easy purchases today at the Ohio sale. So that is it for the Ohio sale. I was gonna talk about the horses last night. I guess I'll end with this. Just so impressed with the way the horses raced last night. James had told me he didn't think that Kings County was 100% last night. Sound-wise, 100%. He just said he felt a little lethargic, which he was surprised with. So we took his blood today to make sure. But the horse was certainly awesome last night. Just shows that winning attitude, right? Looked like he was beat at the head of the lane. Looked like he was beat halfway down the lane and just pushed right through for a victory. I gotta get off here. Oh, it's up here. And then obviously White Tiger scoped a little bit sick. When you have to be at 100% and you're at 91, 90, 92%, 90%, you look at a place. And he just looked like he wasn't in the right place last night, and that wasn't his fault. It was just nature. He just was 2.5 out of 5 for mucus, no blood, which is good, and raced okay. He raced like he was present, right? Didn't he? and then the Eldys Patrick. That was an impressive mile. In fact, I didn't think there'd be a way that he would make me second guess myself about sending him to Yonkers. I just thought those are aged horses. Those are battle tested, been through the trenches type aged horses. Free Willy Hanover has 700,000 almost made, and racing against our horse Eldys Patrick with 53 going into last night. So I really was optimistic, but really was a little disappointed he ended up in that class. Him getting in that class is what precipitated me pulling the trigger on sending him to New York into Mark Beckwith. And then the way he raced last night, I'm like, wow, maybe he should stay here. But then I got thinking, well, where are they going to put me next week, right? They got us in the non-winners of 9,000. I think that the non-winners of 5 doesn't fill. And by the way, we have a horse right now in Royston's Punch we're hoping can do in the non-winners of 5. If that doesn't fill, if it does fill, they got to race together. If it doesn't fill and they say, well, can we use Eldys Patrick here? Where's here? I don't think it's fair to him to race in the non-winners of 12, non-winners of 15, whatever they got. So it makes more sense to put him in a place where, 1, he's going to get in every week. 2, he's better than they are. The horses Eldys Patrick is going to race against for the next month are nowhere near as good as the horses he beat last night. So if he gets around Yonkers, which James and I both swear he will, and he's, he enjoys the track and gets over the track well, it should be smooth sailing, I think. Those are famous last words. It should be smooth sailing. Literally the famous last words. It should be smooth sailing right through to the heart of spring. It was always my intention to pump up the value of Eldys Patrick, drag out some revenue, and maybe resell him. But I guess that depends on how good he really looks. He looked very impressive last night. So that was the point with, that was what we were planning on doing. We'll see what happens. Great night at the track last night. I'm really interested in racing Tour de Lindy tonight, but actually happy. I'm not super excited because I didn't come here to buy horses. We weren't coming here with an intention of, well, these are 6 that we're looking at. If we get them, there was no action to be had in Ohio today. I wasn't looking, but it still found me, and I think I'm glad it did. Anytime we can pick up effective horses, especially move horses that aren't going to be effective for us right away, and replace them with horses that could be or are going to be effective, that's always good business. So, very happy with what took place today at the Ohio sale in Springfield, Ohio. They're in the back. We're going back to Northfield. I'm going to get them shod tomorrow. I'm going to jog them, see how they feel, see how they look. I got an idea from watching the videos on My Mini Miracle, and then after training the sister of Laugh Now, I got an idea of what the shoes are going to look like tomorrow afternoon, and I'm always interested to take that next step and have a look at that. So I guess the most important thing is for those of you who want involved with these 2 horses, there should be lots of shares, because I hadn't approached anybody about buying anything. So there should be lots of shares to be had, and if you want involved, let me know. Now, the only sticking point is, if you do want to get involved in My Mini Miracle in particular, I would appreciate that you send in your money right away. We can't race the horse until she's paid for it. So obviously, they give us the credit to buy the horse today. I'm reaching out to you. If you want to get involved, my plan is to race her within the next 14 days at Mohawk Raceway in the non-winners of 3. If that interests you, you're welcome to become a partner on My Mini Miracle, but we do have to have those funds sent in tout suite, as they say in Quebec and other French-speaking places. It's been a great day. It's sunny. I'm having a great day. I will talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.